Today, the Father says, I have placed you in your life just as I placed Adam in the garden. I am the one who has bestowed upon you the responsibility and the authority to tend to and maintain it. In the administration of your words, I shall oversee the gifts that you have bestowed upon me. If you give me the opportunity to fill your lips, I will be the one to do so. Investigate the environment around you. Make an assessment of the situation you are in. The verbalizations of faith should be used to address the challenges that are currently in front of you. The decrees that you institute will serve as the parameters that will contain my glory and the riches that are contained within it, which will be made available to you as a result of your prayers that are filled with trust. Dispelling the darkness of lack, sickness, heartache, and desperation is the glory that I bring to the world. I am engulfing your life as you declare me to come into your garden, says the Father. I am coming into your garden. Your deliverance is waiting for the occasion of your prayers and affirmations that are filled with an abundance of confidence. There is no doubt that I will put in some effort, but I will only put in effort with you since you are my children. You are a member of the royal family, and I pray that you are granted the authority to rule over your own domain, as well as your own life and the lives of you and others. It is imperative that you do not allow your lips to remain silent any longer. They are looking for someone to speak to the storm and say, "Be still." In the event that you remain silent, I will eagerly anticipate your words. If you say it, I will do it. Upon your words, the blessings and graces of deliverance will rise up before you. There are no pennies from heaven, says the Father. There is only the gold of God that appears at the behest of your words, which I am bringing forth even today, my son and my daughter. The Father encourages you to envision a dream that is vaster than anything you have ever dreamed of. Would you be able to picture the world that I have in store for you? Would you be able to imagine in your imagination the ecstatic joy that I have envisioned for you in the heavens? I have completed the act of signing the work order and sending out the package. At this very moment, the angels are delivering to you the package that I have been preparing for you since the beginning of the world. My Kairos destiny for this moment in your life is for you to do this. According to the Father, when I placed you on the world, I did not do it with a careless attitude or a curious curiosity about what would occur. At that time, I did not take a back seat and say, "Watch this." This is not the case. I have been hovering and flying over you every second and every moment in order to supervise and provide aid that is desperately required. The Father adds, "You are the thing that makes my heart full of excitement. Because of you, I am able to get out of bed each and every morning. I would lie awake at night thinking about you and what I would do next to bless you if I had a bed and slept. If I had sleeping arrangements, I would sleep. The way you think should be adjusted to reflect my love, care, and desire for you. Get rid of any picture or image of me that misrepresents the deep love that I have for you and that I am demonstrating to you at every moment via my actions. Now is the only time I have to share my love with you, says the Father, since I do not live in the past or the future. I do not dwell in any of those places. Because I am a God of the now, the best time for me to pour out my blessings on your life is right now. The Father urges, open your heart to me right now. Our fellowship can only be created on this one ground, and it is the soul ground. In order for me to fill your now with my goodness, I ask that you open it up to me as a vessel that has been opened and offered. I will grant you an abundance of my providing grace even on this very day, provided that you are willing to acknowledge it as such and respond with a "Yes, Father." Act on what you have said. I am a fire that consumes everything, the Father says to me today. The fire is not created by me, rather, I am the fire. Are you going to burn for me? When it comes to your life, those things that do not originate in me or represent my character are consumed by my presence. It is not just what I do, it is who I am. When you give yourself permission to become attached to things that do not reflect my character, you will then experience the heat. There is also the possibility that you will suffer harm if you do not give up the things that the fire of myself is consuming. The Father encourages you to let up of earthly distractions that only serve to satisfy your inner hunger that have become sated. In whatever circumstance, you should merely shine for me and make sure that your heart is combustible. For the sake of walking around in the eternal now with me, I made you. Do not be saddened by the things that are losing their value. When subjected to heat, even intense heat, they will, in fact, melt. Fire is preferable to the decay that those things, those connections, and those ways of life would bring into your heart. Therefore, fire is preferable. Go ahead and let go of everything. A smile. The Father adds that if you do have remorse, you should allow my love to serve as your consolation. With the ointments of my presence, I will soothe your wounds, and you will be healed, transformed, and renewed as a result of my presence. Even in this very moment, your God says, "What are your thoughts on the day that I have created for you today?" The Father asks you today. The earth and the sky, the day and the night, are all crafted specifically for your betterment and blessing. I am the God of the heavens and the earth, and I have written my goodness and my faithfulness onto the heavens. Although the enemy is temporarily the God of this world, you must never forget that I am the God of the heavens and the earth. Your DNA, namely the double helix structures that make up your DNA, is singing of my greatness and my watchfulness over you every single day. This song is a song of love, but it is also a song of passion. Those who assert that they are representing me as a remote man who is a sovereign with a frown have completely misunderstood me. A God of passion is what I am. I do not look on in a nonchalant manner when you are being curious about where I am in relation to your situation. I have been unable to take my gaze off of you ever since the blood of the cross spilled down to the ground. For the purpose of allowing me to look at you in all of your shortcomings and still find reasons to bless and encourage you, my Son paid the price that I needed to pay. It is true that there are aspects of your existence that do not bring a grin to my face. However, the blood is the one that makes up for your shortcomings and brings my pardon to you. You are expected to forgive yourself. When it comes to people who do not forgive you, you must stop listening to them. According to the Father, the only opinions that are significant are mine, because my ideas are everlasting and do not change. This is the conclusion that I have reached. Men have thoughts that are transitory, disordered, and vain. Even when they make an effort to concentrate on me, they allow themselves to be diverted by concepts that do not stem from my favor. I am the Father, and I want you to focus your attention on me today. Because I have chosen you as the object of my affection. Today, the Father tells you that the thing you are going through right now is not about you being tested or tempted. He says this to express his message. It pertains to the loyalty of me. I am present. Talk to me about it. I am not taken aback by the current distress that you are experiencing. I am not responsible for bringing this upon you. I am the one who gives, not the one who takes. As opposed to being the thief, I am the provider. I do not consider your sorrow or grief to be of any importance, so I am not the one who orchestrates the difficulties that life brings. Pay attention to the fidelity of me. You shouldn't stand there and stare at the turbulent air surrounding you as if it were about to consume you. Keep your attention focused solely on me and nothing else. You have the impression that you are the only person and that you are there by yourself. Always keep in mind that I am really moved by the emotions that you are experiencing as a result of your illnesses. Throughout the entirety of human history, there has never been a single occurrence, moment, or circumstance that the cross has failed to provide for and devise a means of evading. At this very moment, the Father urges you to flee to my presence. Have no concerns regarding the actions that you are going to take. Uncomplicated is the response. Because of this, you are going to be a copycat of me. You are going to handle the situation in the same manner that I would if I were in your position. Keep in mind at all times that I am present within you, and that we are confronting the day together. I am part of you. We are going to get through this together and look back with joy at the adventure and blessings that unfolded just when you thought everything was lost. I am bunkered inside of you, and you are bunkered inside of me. We are going to get through this together. We are told by the Father that the race is not for those who are quick, nor is the battle for those who are strong. For the conflict that you are currently dealing with, I am the decisive factor. When you refuse to back down or surrender and instead stand up for what you know my heart is toward you, you are making a statement that is in the majority. No man-made strategy or method can guarantee victory. There is no such thing as a guaranteed triumph. I am the way. I am the way that you are. You will be able to count on me. Turn your gaze away from the right hand and the left hand. Instead of looking to the flesh of your arm, you should look to the natural resources that are available to you for the answers. It was during the time of the prophet Isaiah that the country of Israel attempted to find an ally in Egypt, but they were unsuccessful. You are inside the kingdom, and the kingdom is putting you over. The kingdom is on the inside of you. Understand that I am Emmanuel, the all-sufficient one, dwelling within you at this very now. I am able to provide for, safeguard, and provide for you because I am of adequate strength. It is my gift to you on this particular day. This is the present that I have prepared for you exactly 2,000 years ago, specifically for this hour and this moment in your life. Put your trust in me. Move closer to me. Because at this very moment I am leaning into you. I am sending a download from heaven, the Father says today, so look up, for I am sending it. I am providing you with my wisdom in preparation for the circumstances that are currently in front of you. You will never be left in the dark, unsure of what to do next, because I will never abandon you. I have arrived at the location and am already working. In the midst of the chaos and the confusion that has spread throughout the situation, I am bringing order and then following it up with a visitation of my glory. At this point, you should leave because I have devised a plan for your departure. Leave the people who are unable to overcome obstacles and have a limited mindset behind you, and walk into my eternal yes and amen. The moment that I am saved is always right now. I am not waiting around for tomorrow. Consequently, you should not wait around for someday or one day. The time has come for you to take action that you have been waiting for. A new day has begun. It is important to avoid making the mistake of stating that you will wait until a sufficient period has passed. When I couldn't find time, I made time for myself. I anticipate that you will seize time by the power of my Spirit and put it to work for you in the circumstance. In addition to being the God of time, I am also the God of your now. Move forward and step out of the way. Put your foot on the neck of your adversaries and proclaim the victory that I have delivered for you. Congratulations. Have faith in me to bring about the desired outcome, and have faith in me to bring about the deliverance that you have been pleading for. Even at this very now, I am coming to you to bring you salvation, rest, and blessings that are above your wildest dreams. This day, the Father encourages us to have hope for the best and to plan for the best. Never give your mind permission to be influenced by the worst-case scenario. Keep in mind that you create your own reality by following your focus. Don't give in to the panic, anxiety, and trepidation that are swirling around in the toilet bowl of unfavorable consequences. I will take the worst conceivable circumstances and transform them to your benefit, just as I did with Abraham, if you choose to make a commitment with me. The fact that Abraham was aware of this drove him to establish a connection between his life and the representation of my Melchizedek until all of the promises were realized and fulfilled. Find the Melchizedek that I have placed in your life by going forth and following the guidance of my Spirit. I will make you stronger, and I will strengthen you all the way up until the point where nothing and no one can hurt you or hinder you in any way. Raise your gaze, the Father instructs you to do. Look around you and see the natural and spiritual terrain that I have surrounded you with. You will achieve success, triumph, and prosperity in any location where your hands are working or where your feet are walking. When you hear any other report or any other recommendation, regardless of how religious it may sound, it is the same as when the dog returns again to the vomit of worry, despair, and pessimism. It is as if the sow that has been washed and cleaned has returned to wallowing in the mire of negativity. That is not who you are at all. That is not what I had planned for you far back when the planet was still in its infancy. The Father encourages you to get up. Raise yourself up into the truth of whatever things are good, pure, and flawless, and they will spring forth fully formed to bless you, advance you, and increase you beyond anything you could have ever imagined. As the Father instructs us today, take full advantage of all Calvary has to offer. Obtain all of the wealth that the kingdom has to offer and use it to your advantage. I am not a thinking being, rather, the power that I possess within you is spiritual. The ability to maintain a positive mental attitude is a less effective substitute for having faith and moving mountains. My opinion is that you are a mountain mover. What makes this possible is the faith that I have inside you. You are to go out into the world and use the gift of faith that I have bestowed upon you to move the mountain that is in your life. In the event that you are able to believe, there will be nothing that can stop you, not even cancer. Never let your experiences speak more loudly to your heart than the words that I have spoken to you. It is my word that will bring about change, says the Father, provided it is received with faith and then released out of your lips. Faith was the foundation upon which the world was built, and through faith, your world will also be transformed from one of lifelessness and disappointment into one of joy, peace, and life. This was the dominion that Adam had at the beginning of the world, and it is the dominion that Christ has restored. For those who have faith, I restored what Adam had given up in Eden by sacrificing himself on the cross. Signify your commitment to the covenant of belief. Believe without fail. Only believe in it. You will experience a change in circumstances if you continue to believe. As of today, the Father advises you to travel first class all the way. Beloved, heaven does not function according to the concept of poverty. I have instructed and prepared you to believe, pray, and anticipate, as in heaven so on earth. The sin debt that Adam imposed upon the world for his transgression is the source of destitution, poverty, and living conditions that are below acceptable standards. It is not true that you are Adam's son. Through faith in Christ, you have been reborn. Do as if you are. Aim for the very best and finest. When I started my journey through this world, I took the decision to become poor not as a model for you to emulate, but rather so that you may be wealthy. I became poor so that you could be wealthy. Those who teach in a manner that is contrary to this will place a load of material deprivation upon you that they will not bear for even a single second. For all of their phony religiosity, they are the ones who are leading people who are willing to be similarly misled. Raise yourself out of the hypnotic state of their scarcity mentality, which is fueled by hatred. In the same way that I am a God of blessing and benefit, you are included in that. The Father declares that heaven is yours, not only in the future time of eternity but also in the present moment. In heaven, there are no subsidies designated for housing. In heaven, there are no lineups for the food stamp program. There is a possibility that you may be liberated from your confinement and brought to a place where you will never again have to deal with the harsh consequences of never having enough. Have faith in your heart. My spirit is calling you to enter into the location where money moves in your life, and I say this to you because you are called to move money. Poverty of mind, poverty of lack, and debt of any type are all forms of a curse, and I am removing it from you at this very moment. As you cooperate with me and pay attention to my voice as I advise you on the path that you ought to take, you are emerging from the darkness. You are the recipient of the money because you have made a commitment to be a conduit of financial resources out to the projects of the kingdom, rather than merely a trickling stream of finances to your own limited needs. This means that the wealth will be transferred to you. Today, the Father instructs us to press into the pressure, and if we do so, we shall triumph over it and enter the kingdom. Being able to abound and being able to abase are two different lessons that can be learned. It's all about becoming used to being under pressure. Never jump to the conclusion that the buildup of pressure in your life is a sign that you should change your course of action. Resist the need to let the pressure in your life, whether it be caused by circumstances or even by other people, put you on a leash and pull you away from the fulfillment of your biggest dream or the fulfillment of your deepest heart's desire. When you feel as though the pressure is at its highest and you are unable to continue, it is at that very moment that you will burst through the barriers of the adversary and emerge into an open heaven. In this heaven, the desires of your heart will be spontaneously fulfilled because you have refused to give up everything that I have promised. In order to improve how you react and other people put pressure on you, you should retrain yourself. It is at that moment that you should realize that humility is your most powerful weapon. They have no concept of humility, and they are the strutting little Napoleons who demand their way and insist that you give in to their whims. As you submit yourself to my mighty hand, I will come in and deal with the difficulties that you are currently facing. I am going to write in the sands of your accuser's heart, and they are going to leave because they won't know how else to react to what I have written. Your fellowship with me will then be unimpeded, and you will rise up and walk away from the battlefield bringing your trophies with you. This will be the case. Today, the Father asks, why would you seek the honor that comes from man when you could seek the honor that comes from my throne alone? You have been confined by your own insecurity as much as by those who would make merchandise out of you in order to bolster their own ego-based sense of self-importance. The place where my spirit dwells, there is liberty, therefore, you should shake off these chains and these bonds. The incessant drone of rejection and dismissal that comes from those around you is not anything that originates from my mind toward you. People say things like, "The Lord told me," and "God says this," but the nature of their statements is in direct opposition to how I perceive you and what I have in mind for our relationship. Take into account the sword that I predicted would come even between members of your family and, at times, those who are closest to you. There will be very little honor offered to you, even from those who are living under your roof, while you walk in my kingdom and fulfill my mandate for your life. I adore them. Please provide compassion to those who look down on you with a look of disbelief that they are trying to pass off as discernment from me. You should take your eyes off of them and tune out their constant, excessive, and barely veiled disdain. It is time for you to come out to me, all the way out, outside of the camp of man-pleasing and influence peddling. I promised that I would bring you out, and now is the time to come out to me. I am pulling back the curtain on your life, revealing a destiny that has been fulfilled and a calling that has been made sure of itself. This is your moment to obey me completely and to trust me completely. This day, the Father expresses to you that you are not a liar. You are not a sleazy person. You are not a goofy person. You are the ones I have selected to walk through my courts as both an inner court son and an inner court daughter. There are certain people who are not going to get that, and there will be occasions when they will express their disdain for you without any uncertainty. Put an end to any and all forms of intimidation or fear of man by making the decision right now. Those who are familiar with me will have courage and will perform deeds in my name. In the eyes of the illegitimate authority in your life, acting boldly is interpreted as a sign of presumption and self-will. Leave them alone. They are the assembly of those who are ignorant. You should not pay any attention to them. At this point, the tasks that are assigned to my kingdom will arrive more quickly and will be more difficult. You are worthy of the challenge. I never intended for you to be a passive observer while you waited to make heaven your primary residence. In light of the fact that you are a representative of my kingdom, I have given you the responsibility of carrying out the purpose that I have assigned to your lifestyle. Put an end to waiting for permission to carry out the actions that I have made it impossible for you to choose. Keep your distance from those who are not bound by the law and those who derive the greatest joy from the sound of their own voice as they express their thoughts on matters that they are not familiar with. Now I am yours. To me, you belong. The time has come, therefore take a step forward and move out of your comfort zone. Only then will you be able to perceive the suffering of your soul and understand the destiny that I have placed on your shoulders before the earth was even created. God has spoken to us today, saying, I am right here near you. My promise to you is that I will never abandon you or leave you behind. I am more familiar with you than the next breath you take. My proximity to you is greater than that of your own hands and feet. When you open a door, I will be there. By turning around, you will come face to face with me. I am in the vicinity of you. You are currently sitting on my lap. I am encircling you with my arms, providing you with protection on this day. Take a deep breath and focus on who I am in your life right now. During this 24-hour time, give me permission to become completely present in your life. Yesterday, did I not treat you with respect? I am even going to demonstrate my goodness to you today. It makes no difference to me, which is what the Father says. Despite the fact that you wake up in a new world every day, I never sleep and I never change my mind about how much I love you. Have faith in me. Have faith in me. Have faith in me. Both the day and the season have begun anew. Take a deep drink from the wellspring of my faithfulness that is present in your life right now. God says to me today, I am familiar with the feeling of tears falling down my face. During my time on earth, I experienced intense sobbing and tears as I carried out my passion in the presence of others who did not comprehend or recognize who I was or what I was destined to do. I am passing on to you the passion that I have. During this time of year, the fire that I stoked within you is reaching a point where it is blazing with intensity. The zeal that I am transferring to you will cause you to discover that you will no longer be welcomed in the company of a large number of people. They will remark things like, it is not going to be acceptable to have someone like that at our social events. Everyone will be ruined as a result of them. They are going to criticize them by saying, all they do is talk about God, naturally, I will make it such that you show there without being invited, because I have never been one to heed social niceties, and you are not going to be one of those people. You will walk among them, and they will take knowledge of you that you have been with Jesus. Your face will glow as brightly as Stephen's face did on the day that he came to me. While you are speaking, my terror will be cast upon them. There will be signs and wonders both before you arrive and after you go. They will remain even after you have left. They are going to declare that your home is haunted because of the angel activity that is taking place in your life. They are going to come with television cameras, but the cameras are not going to operate, and the sound equipment is not going to work. I will arrest them, says the Father, because they will, with astonishment, take note that what they saw taking place in you is now taking place on the inside of them. They will recognize that they will not be able to capitalize on what is happening around you, and they will turn to depart. This will cause them to feel frustrated. They are going to come running to you for assistance, and you are going to laugh the laugh that comes from the throne. Not only will I supply them, but I will also modify them. When people in your society suddenly become aware that the kingdom of God has arrived, they will be forced to choose a choice, which will cause your community to be twisted on its axis. According to the Father, it is important to assist them in making the appropriate choice, since this is what it means to win cities for God, not just individuals. Message from the Father: angelic troops are all around you at this very moment. Do not try to escape the heat that you are experiencing today. At the height of the day, angels are known to make their appearance. You are going to experience a day of heat and a day of conquest today. Stay out of the heat and do not retire. In the thick of the conflict, you will discover the angels going about their task. Your prayers resulted in the acquisition of these items. Surely you did not believe that I was not paying attention, did you? From the perspective of the Father, the prey is the predator, and you are the principality in your own life. In the same way that Abraham negotiated with me about the destiny of Sodom, you have the power and authority to negotiate the fate of people whom I have placed in your hands. In the words of the Father, I shall be petitioned at your hands. As your covenant partner, I will communicate with you in the same manner as a friend would with another friend. As part of our agreement, I will take custody of your belongings and expel the person who is stealing them. This is the season of strategy, as well as the season of making a tactical entry into territory controlled by the enemy. When your adversary sees you approaching, he will believe that he has you in the position that he desires. He does not notice the phalanx of angelic shock warriors that will be present to smash the opposition. He does not see them. In this day and age, the Father declares, I am going to do for you what you are unable to do for yourself. Other than launching you into your kingdom destiny, I do not have any other contingency plans besides that. A lot of people have decided that your vision and your desire are nothing more than fantasy. Avoid giving any attention to their voices. The opinions of those who are critical and those who are pessimistic do not have the same weight as my own voice. As a result of their voices, nothing but meaningless noise has been produced. Because they are so enamored with the sound of their own voices, they are unable to hear anything else. This is the voice that was responsible for the creation of the heavens and the earth. The voice that spoke to you when you were miraculously formed inside of your mother's womb is the voice that I give you. At the very instant that you were conceived, my voice was the voice that stirred the flame of life into being. In the same way that Moses was left adrift on the Nile, I breathed my love and my promises into that prepared tissue, and then I set you adrift within the womb of your mother. Moses discovered his destiny, and the Father promises that you will discover yours as well. There is a blessing that I am placing upon you today. Your heart should be able to gaze up to me and open wide, just like the mouth of a newborn bird would open when it sees its mother returning to the nest. According to the Father, I will fill you to the point where you are unable to hold any more blessings. I am aware that this is not something that you have encountered in your life, and it is not something that your professors have taught you, in the words of their religious wisdom. They worship a God who is scanty. A God who is both stingy and anemic is taught by them. In this season and beginning today, afresh and again, I will begin to demonstrate to you in a new way that I am none of those things. I am not any of those things.